Alright, so today we're going to learn kickflips. Everybody loves kickflips. They're the basis of a lot of combos and stuff, like kickflip backside lip slides. Let's get started. Before you get started with kickflips, you want to make sure you have a really good ollie down. And an ollie is a motion where you're popping the board, it's moving up with you, and it's not doing any kind of flip or rotation at all. First, we're going to go through the finger positioning for the kickflip. You want to make sure that your back finger is square over the tail, just like this, covering the tail completely, and you want your index finger to be covering most of the board, but instead of all the way covering, you want about 2 millimeters down, like that. So you should see some of the grip tape. So the kickflip is all on the index finger. Instead of sliding up and flush like you would for an ollie, you're going to turn your hand toward you and you're going to flick your front finger off this edge of the board, closest toward you. That's what makes the board start to flip like a kickflip. So here I'm going to try to get the board to flip and you can see it in slow motion. So you can see in slow motion how my finger is coming off this edge and it's flipping. Some people have luck with actually trying to move their fingers like this and flicking off that specific edge. When I started fingerboarding, I found it easier to just turn my hand slightly, and that would automatically make it flick off that edge. So altogether, these are the steps for the kickflip. You want to roll up and you want to pop. Remember that your fingers have to be in the kickflip position. When you pop the board, instead of sliding up for an ollie, you're going to start to turn your hand toward you so your index finger flicks off the edge. You want to slide your fingers up and turn simultaneously so that it goes up and it starts to flip. Now you want to kind of use muscle memory, but also use your sight and your reflex to catch the board, ideally once it makes one full rotation, like that. Once you catch it, you're going to want to land it and ride away smoothly. Okay, now we're going to go through a couple common problems associated with kickflips. Now you want the board to do one complete rotation, just like that, but one problem that a lot of people have is the board starts to overflip, and that could be something like that where I just did a double kickflip. You can solve that a couple different ways. You might be letting it flip too long in the air and not putting your hand back on it to catch it. So as you see that board do one flip, put your fingers back on it so you can catch it. Another thing is you might be turning your hand too much and flicking too hard, which causes it to flip 2, 3, 4 rotations. The second problem is when the board starts to spin and do a varial kickflip. So instead of doing a flip like that where it's flipping straight, you're now having it turn. As you can see, it's doing a rotation. The reason why this happens is because your finger might be too far down. So instead of having your front finger covering most of the board and flicking off the edge, you're having it down like this. And this doesn't cause enough resistance for the board as it's popping. Another reason that could be happening is because instead of popping square with your back finger and turning your hand, you are now scooping with your back finger. You don't want to scoop the board. That's going to cause a rotation. Alright, now that you learned kickflips, you could try it over obstacles. Alright, maybe I could use a trick tip.